Nase udo yonku udo unia se uwa sasa sieni dani butu me po tutu oku pumpa insuro no kao da Yesu kao
Indeed, sasasi any dandi butuna bipotitu ekogupu mumpa ensuro esane se onyankopon oka yehu. Today is yet another episode of From the Beginning. One may ask, what is from the beginnings? Is life experience. How one can change their life through someone's experience. This afternoon, I have my own sister Lara Gabriel, Omolara Gabriel, with me this afternoon. And the topic for this afternoon is conquering fear, how to make a successful career change into tech at any age. Sister Lara, a business consultant and a lawyer, will tell us what the tech is about. Sister Lara, you're welcome once again to Richmond Media.
Thanks, Hanna. Thanks for having me yet again. It was a really great time. The other time, I think that was last year,
That's
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome once again. Before we start, to our viewers, we say you're welcome once again to Richmond Media. Without you, it is impossible to broadcast this program. So please feel free to send your comments and anything that you want, any question that you have, just pop it into the comment section and we will be able or we will do our best to answer. Even if not today, you definitely has get the answer at some point in life. Sister Lara, before we go on, what is tech at all?
Well, in terms of tech is just the world we know it, the world as we know it at the moment. Technology is the digital infrastructure that we have that we didn't have in the 90s. So I was born in the 80s, right? And I was just telling my niece and nephew today that in our times we didn't have smart TVs, we didn't have mobile phones. We just played. We didn't use devices. So when I'm talking to a very simple person, tech is the devices you have that make your life easier. It is it is everything that has been brought in to improve your life. So the Wi-Fi, the smart TVs, the applications, the AI. Now we're in the AI era. It's all those things, and they're meant to make your life easier. So I want all of us to look at it as something we'll leverage and uh, you know, make use of rather than run away from. You can't run away from tech all your life. It's here to stay, actually.
Thank you so much. You've been able to help over 1,005 people. How were you able to do that to make successful career change into this tech that we are talking about, into technology? How were you able to do that, and what inspired you to focus on such career change?
Absolutely. So I think I'll talk around what inspired me first, and I'll talk around how I'm able to help people. But in terms of my key inspiration is that I am a living and breathing example of you know a career changer. I'm a qualified lawyer. You know, known law all my life. You study law in university. It is no walk in the park, and then you decide to change careers, and then you're thinking tech, and you're thinking, oh, tech is a bit complex. Oh no, I'm not really into computers. Oh no, I don't really like technology. And so I've worked in these shoes as well. And that's my greatest inspiration, because I can keep using myself as the number one success story and the number one example of why you should move away from a career that you don't enjoy anymore. Don't stay somewhere you don't enjoy anymore just because you feel secure there, because it's very likely that you're very unhappy, and that would impact other areas of your life. So my key motivation is just because I've walked the shoes. I know that I am sharing an experience that is 100% factual. I've gone through it and I've transitioned easily. The other inspiration is I've seen I've seen tech itself, a tech career is something that transforms you. You feel like being part of something more. You're not in a career that is not making a difference. It's making a key difference. So you are definitely very transformed when you move into tech. And because of the power of tech and what it does to people, I'm really super what do you call that word? I'm just super excited about people coming into tech. I'm even more excited about career changes, older people that have begun to break all the barriers and say, no, actually, there should be more, there should be more other people in tech. There should be more people of color in tech. There should be more minorities in tech. Tech is not just for a niche of people, it's for everybody.
Thank you so much. What kind or how do you get the passion to reinvent stem from witnessing the limiting beliefs of people in hold?
Yeah, in terms of the passion, it goes to that, those two key things: walking in the same shoes of not knowing what I wanted to do when I decided to change careers. I'm like, okay, I don't enjoy law as much anymore. I do enjoy going to court. I enjoy being a solicitor, but I started to feel a bit very disconnected to it. So the passion just came from the fact that I knew that when I decided to transition from law into tech, into project management, it wasn't a very easy walk. It was good that I had the right, I spoke to the right people at the time, and I did the right things, but not everybody would have that privilege. And that's why I'm extending that privilege I had to others. The other thing about this journey in itself is, for me, it's just really enriching. I'm really passionate about this because it's enriching seeing people go through career transition. I coach them, support them, and years later, they're just really grateful. And I'm just really grateful that I've been part of their journey as well.
Why do you believe that any age, at any point in time, can, thrive into industry?
Yes, I think the thing about tech is there's a lot of myths around tech or general misconceptions where people have labeled tech as, oh, tech is for the young and the savvy, tech is for the fortune the companies in Silicon Valley and the stuff like that. Tech is for young graduates that are still very they're very excited about technology. And I think that is just completely wrong. I think it's just rubbish. And please do not listen to that, because that plays on your subconscious when you start to feed on that. Tech is for both old and young people. Now imagine that we have an industry where we have mostly young people. When I'm talking about old people now, I'm talking about people from the age group of let's just say 30s upwards, so they're a bit older. And we're talking about younger people as teens to 30, right? If we had only those lot of people in all the industries we have, I'm not even specifying tech now, there's no way that we would progress. I think what makes industries progress is the diversity of people. So you have a mix of young, you have a mix of the older age group, because we all come in to play different roles. And so I think tech very much needs older people coming in and being there as well, present, to be able to give wisdom. They have a lot more life experiences than younger people, and they can apply this to leadership roles, number one. Number two, what people don't realize about tech is you might be coming from a different background, but you have transferable skills that you can bring onto tech. And tech is actually looking for those skills. And it's just trying to open people's minds to the fact that, look, if you look at your skills that you have in your current job, there's a lot of skills that you can bring to tech and they would really appreciate, and you'll be making a difference. So it's starting from that point of making people to understand what transferable skills have I got and how can I get into tech with these transferable skills. I've gone back to say that outside of tech, outside of this notion that tech is for young people, and which is completely untrue, the real truth is that every industry grows and is strengthened by the diversity around age, people, whether we have a lot of people of different ethnicities in one organization. That's what makes it prosper. And I think we need a lot more of that in tech. We need more diversity in tech. We need more minorities in tech. We need more older people in tech. We need this to mix it up. And then there's a stereotype, and I don't know where that stem from, that older people are not open to technology. Now, some of that might be true, but that's not entirely true, because there's still a lot of older people, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60, that just they're open to learn. Once they know the tech, they know the application, you can show them how to do it, they're good to go, because God has given us all a brain, and our brains have a lot of capacity to do a lot of learning, even as we age and as we grow. So it's the fact that I know that everybody in this world is adaptable, and so it is incorrect to say that older people are not open to using technology. You can say sometimes they're reluctant. So for young people that are listening to me, you might have, your parents always ask you to, to do this, but it's not so much that they're not, they're not interested in tech. It's just sometimes some people are reluctant to get involved with something they're not used to. But as soon as you show your parents how to use some things, I can remember when I showed my mom how to use was it WhatsApp, and then my mom is in her 70s now, and she went ahead to now start using it a bit too much. You get what I mean? So yes. And I think you were speaking on mute.
Oh, sorry. It
No, it's all right.
the tech industry brings some technologies which people are not familiar with those words, which then become jargons. In this case, how do you help your clients, or how do you confront them, or how do you help them to overcome all these fears so that they can get into the actual business of technology?
Okay, in terms of overcoming their fears, people have different fears around tech, and people have different fears around, just change. And that's where I always start with people when I'm talking to them, that when you think of change, career transition, if you think of changing from be admin, I've got a few people that have moved from medicine to tech. When you think about change, how do you think about it? How do you mirror it? Do you look at it as a setback? Do you look at it as a challenge? Do you look at it as, a really difficult change? Or do you see it as growth? I always ask that people have a growth mindset and see tech as growing, moving into tech as growing. That's one key thing. Sure, there's a lot of technical jargons. Tech is ever changing as well. Um, and so it's difficult for people to want to think, oh, I'm going into this ever changing industry. But the real truth is, the world in itself is ever changing. The world is not the same from 40 years ago or so. It's ever changing. So we can try to adapt. In terms of helping people confront their fears, I think for me is always starting with sharing a success story, sharing my own story, sharing stories of other people I have worked with, because that's a starting point to even start to get through people, sharing their stories so that they can relate, to say, oh, actually, this is me, and I'm here with you, and I moved from this industry to tech, and I'm sitting here with you, and I'm enjoying what I do. I have not looked back at ever since. So that's my first thing, sharing the success stories. Then outside of sharing the success story, I try to I would usually have a free consultation with the people I meet before they become clients. I have a free consultation where I kind of want to get into their head to understand what is their fears, because everybody's fears is really different. Some people is just fear of the unknown. Some people is fear of learning over again or thinking they're incompetent. And the real truth is, even people within tech, everybody goes through life and goes through their professional work with something called imposter syndrome. You change a new job, you start a new job, you have imposter syndrome. So it's natural. It's not even only something that is more aligned to people that are changing careers. Through life, as we go through life professionally, we would go through that phase of imposter syndrome. So I have that free consultation trying to understand what is holding them back. And the real question I ask is, what's the worst case scenario? Like, if you wanted to change into tech, what's the worst case scenario? Do you think you can completely lose out a career that you've built because you moved into tech? The answer is no, because you can minimize those risks. So I help them to identify that, and then help them to start to think around, okay, how can I plan to transition, but also have have a backup plan where if I think, oh, this is not for me, I can go back to what I started. But for me, I think in life, we should always try something at least once. I then do a skills audit with them. A skills audit is just where I sit with clients to basically understand their skills, their personality, and then I'm matching it up with possibly roles within tech. And then I'm saying, oh, actually, you have all the skills previously. You're a solicitor. You have all the skills. You have skills with managing people. You have skills with planning. You have skills with keeping to compliance. You might have some skills in project management. It might be a good thing for you. So we do that skills matching. So it's quite a, there are quite a few couple of things to do to build confidence. Now, if you want to get into tech as well, you cannot decide to say, oh, I want to get into tech and I do not want to invest anything in it. I do not want to invest my time. I do not want to learn. I do not want to spend my money. That wouldn't work overnight. You need to be able to put resources into it, and the resources will come in time and money, both of them. So I always going to advise people to make sure they get trained in whatever field within tech that they want to get into.
Thank you so much, sister. At this point, I would like to find out be a bit more in details of what are some of the common misconceptions about a career in tech actually entails, the details of it, and how do you intend to help individuals that come across such barriers? Thank you.
So in terms of the misconceptions that people go through, or the common misconceptions that I have heard about, is when people think about tech, all they think about is coding. Like, do I have to be a coder? I know a lot of older people do not know how to code. Our younger generation, it's almost like a normal language, but they think tech is all coding. The real truth is that not all tech roles involve coding. So that's completely a wrong misconception. Tech is wide. It involves a lot, right? It involves it's so wide, right? You have the programmers, you have people that are quite technical, but you have the non-technical roles within tech. You have roles like project management, you have analyst roles, business analyst, you've got people working within data as well, doing data analysis, you've got change managers, all working within tech. You have people within cybersecurity. So you don't have to be in code. You don't have to be a coder, or you don't have to be doing coding to be in tech. That's the first misconception. And how do I help people to get through that misconception? Is by doing things like this that I'm doing, continually just, keep drumming it, keep speaking about it, keep sharing useful books people can read, materials online. There are a host of people that talk around this as well, just so that people start to open up their minds to how wide tech is and how versatile it is, and the fact that they don't need to code or know how to code to join tech. The other misconception people have is that tech is only for people that have gone, they've gone to school academically, they've narrowed down their academics and they've got degrees in computer science, or they've got degrees in IT, and those are the only kind of people that are in tech. Now, I'll tell you, there's no, maybe certain specialist roles like medicine and some other few roles where most of the people in that field have just a degree. But with tech is diverse. Everybody in tech doesn't have, it's incorrect to say that everybody in tech has a computer science degree or an IT degree. That is completely untrue, because there are people that are actually in tech that have no degrees in it, but they're open to technology. They're open to leveraging technology, and I think that's what's more important when it comes to working in tech. That you're open to tech. You understand that it's something that needs to be leveraged, and you're quite excited about the workings of tech. And so that's one misconception that I always say is incorrect. And what I do around that is always advising people around making sure that if they want to transition into tech, they get some training. You can get practical training I've got a coaching outfit, and what we do within our coaching firm is just support people, train them with the necessary practical experience they need around project management. And project management is just one of the roles within tech, and there are other roles. So when people come to me and they don't even want to do project management, I say, okay, make sure you get training within, business analysis. For instance, you get training within data analysis. So that is one thing I do to dispel that misconception. Another key misconception that we've spoken about already as well is that tech is only for young people. I'm certainly young at heart, because I keep saying age is in the mind. And I'm speaking for old people here, and I'm speaking to myself as well as speaking to people on the call. When you start to segregate and make yourself what's that word? Basically, what you're doing is you're looking at age as a barrier, and you're the one creating those barriers. In actual, organizations are not the ones creating it. Organizations, I've I've never been to an organization where they've looked at me and said, "Oh, your age is your barrier." And for most people of color, most black people, most minorities, you can't even tell. They can't tell your age from seeing you most times. So really, that's not the barrier, and it is really untrue to say that tech is only for young people. Yes, young people gravitate towards tech because they were born in that age. But older people too like tech. They leverage it. Why do you think young older people? You even have the seniors, 70s and 60s and 80s. They're on Facebook to start with. I'm just giving you an example. So young people gravitate towards it because they were born in that time. Old people are interested in leveraging it. They just need to learn, and that's the real truth. So if you want to go into tech, it's for you, even if you're older, but you do need to get trained, get some knowledge around how it works, be ready to learn and expand your knowledge bank around it. There's a lot
Thank
more,
you.
but I'm just going to leave it at that.
That's fine. Thank you so much, Sister Lara Gabriel, head coach, RL Lyric Training. We haven't finished it. We will definitely come back again. But based on some discussions that we've had already, we will bring it to the end at this point. But before you leave, I don't want us to leave without you putting your details on board. So if someone is interested, want to keep in touch with you, the person will be able to contact you direct without even coming through Richmond. However, if that person comes through Richmond, we'll be able to give your contact. But you are here. You're not gone yet. So please, I will entreat you to give your details at this point so that either young or old, everyone is for tech. So let's all join so that we can improve ourselves to meet the contemporary world. So please, Sister Lara, go ahead.
Absolutely. So I think thanks for saying that. If anyone wanted to get in touch with me, please do. We're doing a lot of free consultations. You do need to be able to bounce off ideas and just be accountable to someone. So I'm happy to just have that first initial consultation with you. On Instagram, you can get in touch. The handle for Instagram is Ariel Lyric Limited. So that's ARALLYC Ltd. So Ariel Lyric Limited, and that's on Instagram. You can also reach out via email if you wanted. I'm very happy to share my I think I'm happy to share the business number with Richmond Media as well, so that they can share the number with people who are unable to, probably on Instagram, for instance. But in terms of the email address, you can also send an email to ariollyric@groupmail.com. So it's ARALLIRYC@groupmail.com. And also in the next couple of weeks, I think 8th of February, we're going to be having a free webinar that people can join. And it's with 4 other senior professionals within tech. And so if you come on that webinar, there's a lot for you to learn around the different roles. you would also be able to meet people. So there are 4 speakers, including myself, someone that is working within change management, someone working within business analysis, myself for project management, and there's someone that is working as an agile coach. And the webinar is just to expose you to what tech is about, what working in tech is like. Most of the people on that call, on that webinar, would be, some of them are career changers like me. So it will greatly help you. So if you wanted to join the webinar, please reach out via email or on Instagram. Instagram handle is Ariel Lyric Limited, and that's the handle, Ariel Lyric Limited. And also you can also reach out to Richmond Media, and I'm sure they'll be very happy to share these details.
Thank you so much, Sister Lara, for your time and everything. May God richly bless you as you continue your journey. And we will hope to have you again for the second phase of it to complete all the questions that we have already proposed. So we will leave you to just join the other group, and then may God bless you and everyone. To everyone who made it possible to listen to this program, we say may God continue to bless you as you spend your time, your life, your love, and everything for Richmond Media. The same time again next week at 4 o'clock to 5 p.m. UK and Ghana time, and wherever you are, you can convert the time. My name is Hanna Bimah, and it's Richmond Media from the beginning. Until then, it is our love from Richmond Media to your doorsteps, wherever each of you is. May God bless all of us as we journey through from the beginning, experience upon experience, from whatever, through politics to every corner we are tackling. So join us and you will definitely have your share of it. Until then, it is bye-bye for now.
City. Getsemani now, Christo Yerashasi. Viase bonini na ye adeswa nichiso. Arire hushe na kumaso na okase. Sebetumia makuei nchemeo oponisue ni monyambe simane opreniwase kosiase niano Achichieni oyamu osinebu dinikratuho seyadasa